This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Another marijuana field uncovered here in the capital. This time in southwestern New Providence, a team of officers from the Southwestern Division or Carmichael Road Police Station uncovered the field off Cowpen Road on Thursday morning. Reports tell us that shortly after 11:30 a.m., officers acting on intelligence went to a bushy area off Cowpen Road where they uncovered marijuana plants ranging from 3 inches to 7 feet in height. The plants have an estimated street value of $15,000. This discovery comes just 2 days after police confiscated over 245 marijuana plants in a field near Gambier Village, worth an estimated $200,000. Police say no arrests have been made in this latest find. Active investigations continue. Meantime, police on Abaco, investigating an armed robbery after a man was robbed of his 2010 Mercedes-Benz early Thursday morning. Police reports from the northern Bahamas indicate shortly before 1 a.m., officers at the Marsh Harbor Police Station received a report of an armed robbery on Queen Elizabeth Drive. Initial investigations revealed that an adult male was at the ATM of a local bank when he was approached by a dark male wearing dark clothing and a gray shirt over his face. The culprit produced a firearm and demanded cash. After not receiving any cash, the suspect left the area with the man's 2010 black Mercedes-Benz valued at $30,000. Investigations are being continued. Following a meeting of international experts in Geneva, Switzerland earlier this month, the World Health Organization, or WHO, intends to release upgraded guidelines for researching violence against women under the theme Revisiting Safety and Ethical Recommendations for In-Person and Remote Research on Violence Against Women. The meeting of expert advisors discussed and evaluated the use of remote data collection in methods in violence against women surveys, its advantages, limitations, safety, other challenges, and lessons learned. The meeting was prompted by concerns regarding the increase in the flurry of research on violence against women that began during the pandemic. Dr. Valerie Knowles from the Citizens Security and Justice Program, CSJP, said the pandemic upended the ability to conduct many of the standard research methodologies, and that the agenda of the meeting was to identify key areas and aspects of the World Health Organization's existing ethics and safety documentation that needs to be updated, and to draft recommendations to address those gaps. Once completed, the guidelines are expected to be shared with all stakeholders involved in researching violence against women. Earlier this week, leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, released a statement regarding the government's actions at the Grand Bahama International Airport. He said prior to the elections and now 10 months later, there remains a need for a greater sense of urgency in addressing the transformation of the Grand Bahama International Airport. Mr. Pintard said the government must lay out the macro plan for the redevelopment of the overall airport. He said there should be stakeholder meetings relative to the proposed plan. Simultaneously, there should be meetings with all other entities that are impacted by the state of airlift or whose growth can benefit airlift. Mr. Pintard said realistic timelines for this complex, expensive undertaking is crucial, as this sends clear signals to local and international investors about the seriousness of government and associated partners. Mr. Pintard is also of the opinion that the United States of America officials should be engaged relative to pre-clearance and security matters. He said each step of the way the public should be kept informed and a mechanism should be put in place to benefit from the public's opinion. Mr. Pintard said the government was resolute about their plans and ability to transform the airport and restore and expand significant airlift into Grand Bahama. He said the opposition wished them the best, but still wait a strategic plan and concrete actions that match their, quote, big talk, end quote. And finally, a biosphere reserve is underway in Cat Island. The Bahamas National Commission for UNESCO announced plans for the project, or the joint project, with Young Marine Explorers, YME, through a $26,000 award from UNESCO Thursday, July 14th, at the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training. The Bahamas National Commission for UNESCO Secretary General Deidre Bevan said their vision is that the entirety of Cat Island will become a biosphere reserve that will serve as a national model for sustainable development and inspire national action for developing climate-resilient islands throughout the country. Nikita Shield-Roll, founder and CEO of YME, said the Bahamas is making its mark in history and establishing the first man and biosphere reserve in the country that will help prepare those of us who are living on the front lines of the climate change to be empowered, equipped, and properly skilled. The first phase of the project is from July to September 2022. The new global framework for biodiversity aims to halt the loss of biodiversity by 2030, expand area-based conservation to reach at least 30% of the planet by 2030, and achieve recovery and ecosystem restoration by 2050. Meanwhile, at the same press conference on Monday, July 18th, a workshop on climate action and climate awareness for public school students, a project to develop an intangible cultural heritage inventory, and a project for safeguarding living heritage during emergencies are among current initiatives of the Bahamas National Commission for UNESCO, announced by Hope Strawn, Ambassador and Permanent Delegate to UNESCO. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.